Mr. Shawky, thank you for joining us. Today we are here to discuss details of Art Basel Qatar, which will be held in February 2026 under your artistic direction. And as it's the first presence of Art Basel in the Middle East, it could bring new opportunities for art and artists from the region. And I would like to start with what you mentioned in your previous interview with Skate, where you said artists don't feel connected to the fairs and they should be part of the fairs. I would like to hear how you think Art Basel Qatar can fulfill this role.
Well, it's a beginning. Let's see how this will happen, because in the end, I have many roles here in Doha recently, and one of these roles is to try to reshape a space that is already existing called Fire Station. So now it's more like it used to be a residency program here in Doha, but mostly for local and residents in Qatar. Now I'm the artistic director for this space, and starting September, I'm planning to turn it into an international school, but mainly school actually. It's a non-profit contemporary art school. We invite, like for this year, for example, we will invite 20 international students, plus the Qataris also. So maybe 3 Qataris or 4 Qataris. At the same time, they will be here for like maybe 1 year. During this 1 year, we will invite many artists, professional artists, curators, philosophers, generally academics, to give them talks, seminars, workshops, studio visits. It's a very intensive study program that I think it's extremely important for the region. And when it came the idea of Art Basel also, and they asked me to join and to become the artistic director, I find that it's also part of the same mission, let's say. And why it's part of the same mission? Because yes, it's easy to talk to artists and say that art has nothing to do with market or money, or because it's, of course, it's non-profit, and you need to teach art history, and you need to try to explore more possibilities for new art. But how can you do this if you don't have market? How can you convince new generation if they don't have the possibility for professional market as part of the whole cycle? How can you convince them that this is their career, for example? So I found that it's also part of the things that I was always facing, not only here in Qatar, but even in Egypt. You try to work with young generation and to push them to discover their ability to create, and to create something really unique. And they have the ability to do this. But how many people are capable to continue this work, since there is no institutions, there's no market, there's no museums, there's no... So when you see that Qatar already is building all these infrastructure, these new museums, these new institutions, and also now we are building Fire Station as really one of the main hubs in the region for this contemporary art education, I think it's extremely important also to complete the cycle with professional market. And this professional market came with Art Basel. So I found that it's really important. And even I was honored to be invited to do this and to take the part of this first initiative, like to be involved in shaping beginning of art market in the region. So it's not easy, and maybe it will take maybe few years to make it as we want. But even I'm very optimistic, extremely optimistic. Qatar has amazing potential, and they have a vision to make something beyond Qatar, really. It's just like always like when you think about it, it's like Al Jazeera, for example, which is like, yes, it is happening. It is in Qatar, but at the same time, it's really concerned with something much bigger. It's more global, and at least it's more about the region. So I feel it's the same.
It's amazing news. And can I know how you selected the student for this residency? Is that a call, through the call, or no? You selected them in other way.
No, it was a call. Yes, it was announced call. We received over 1,000 applications. We had to select only 20 um, out of 1,000. It was very, very, very tough job. We pushed. We Yeah, we had to accept a little bit more. So now, for the moment, they became 23. Um, but it was really, we had many, many, many amazing applications, many, and they're from all over the world, from China, India, USA, UK, Nepal, everywhere, honestly, everywhere. I did not imagine that like people will be all like that uh, from the first, because this is also for me is a pilot program. We haven't started yet. We will start the program end of September. But of course, we announced for it, and we already went through this selection. The selection was not easy because many, many good quality, many.
Of course.
And for the pilot program, I didn't want the jury to become only me and two more or three. I decided to make it much bigger, so I made it almost, actually, it's 11 members. The jury is 11 members. And we went through many different types of selections until we reached this amount of people. And even we had to like reject really, really good people just because we can't have, let's say,
Of course, limitation. You have a limitation.
yes, we have limitations, and also we need to have certain amount of people from the region. And if we have like something like 6 fantastic applications from USA, we cannot have 6 applications from USA or from UK. We have to make things like the best of the applications that we got from USA. We need to get 2, for example, and the same for me, and so on. So it was this type of work that I found it extremely important. Yeah, and even as an artist, I always find these things are important. Important sometimes for me to become away from my artwork a little bit and to see things from outside and then come back to my projects. This is the idea here in Doha. Yes, Fire Station is a fantastic space. It has studios for artists, but at the same time, it has also exhibition spaces. And it has small cinema, and it has a place for workshops. So the program here can be really fantastic, not only for the local Qatari or the residents, but also for the international community that is coming here. I am trying to make sort of, let's call it this way, collaboration between Fire Station and Art Basel also during Art Basel. So hopefully, yeah, everyone will be benefiting from this, because the idea about Fire Station is similar to my school in Alexandria. It's called Mass Alexandria, which is, okay, you have the students for 1 year. They don't leave. Not they don't leave the space, but they don't leave the city. They are involved for 1 year. At the same time, all the staff, the educational staff, is changing. We are based on the visitor professors. only visitor professor. There is no one that is like permanent. So in that case, the students are like really seeing every week different people. And these people who are seeing, they are the major, like let's say the major figures that we know in the art world, that they are like, they have the most experience. And I think it's very interesting, this system, because if we go to someone extremely involved in the art world, and he has like, or she has incredible experience for like, I don't know, like 10 years or 20 years or something. And if they can extract only 3 days out of 1 year for teaching other people, I think it's for us is enough. And if you can, and from all these people, you can just build 1 year educational program. Uh, yeah, so the people who are involved with me are similar, like Caroline Christoph, Adriano Pedrosa, Hans Ulrich, Tom Eccles, Paul Al-Qasimi, Chus Martinez. I mean, many names, of course. Like, and all these names, as I said, they are like very generous to share their experience with us, or not with us, but with the students. But sometimes also we can share their experience in a bigger scale, so we can make it for public. And this is what I'm planning to do during the 3 days or 4 days of Art Basel, that we also can have this, instead of having talks only to the students, we can have public talks that can become in a bigger scale. So it's not only the students that will benefit from this, but also more audience can benefit from this. As I said, the idea of also changing the scale and the vision of Fire Station is extremely important, because we need to, when we have exhibitions happening inside Fire Station, even these exhibitions should be educational. It's educational for our students and also educational for the audience themselves. So it's a mission that we feel it's like, as I said, it's like a hub for contemporary art here, that it's something happening that needs to feed, yes, all these types of contemporary art intellectual discourse, that it cannot, sometimes museums cannot have the same ability to do this. Museums are much bigger than this. It cannot be that flexible even. It cannot become even the bridge between young generation or students and also the contemporary art scene, that it's like really, because most of the people who can exhibit inside museums are really big established names. So still it's fantastic for the students, because they will be like, yes, visiting museums, but the type of involvement that you can have in a space like Fire Station is much bigger, because they're not only watching the exhibitions, but they are like part of the exhibitions. They can be also, we can involve them also in installing the exhibitions, in the discussions with the artists. It's something like, as I said, much more flexible, and that make it more educational. So this is really the mission. I'm thinking like, I'm thinking how to try to benefit as much as possible. My only problem I really have now is the time limitation, that everything came very fast. The idea that Art Basel is very soon. So I don't know if it will be enough time for this edition to have all these, like to achieve all these dreams.
with the application deadline for galleries now closed, has the final selection already been made? And when you
No,
announce, no?
not yet, not yet.
Uh,
I
uh,
am just like, of course, I looked through the applications, and we also have fantastic. It's like fire station. We have fantastic applications, of course, and that came because every gallery is sending their best presentation. So it's just one presentation from each gallery. So this is why I think it's really great. But the final selection is not done yet. It will be still up to mid September until we make this final.
oh, great. And
Not before mid September, actually.
do you have any application from Persian language countries, Iran,
Yeah.
Afghanistan, Tajikistan? Yeah. Oh, great.
Yeah.
And can I know your criteria for selecting? Do you have any preference for about specific media or something else?
Mainly about quality, really just quality. We are just the idea is also because the idea that I'm not the only one who's choosing. It's also similar to fire station. It's like we have a jury, so it will be almost 8 people actually are voting. So the idea, of course, that we have I put a theme for this art fair, and it's called Becoming. And of course, we know this, and at the same time, how can we try to not only to choose the galleries that are like more presenting this theme, but also the galleries that are, of course, presenting quality, as I said.
Yeah.
Something that also many of the time, not to show also that, yes, as I said, market is extremely important, but we cannot really uh, present work only as a product that it's for sale. It needs to have a higher role. So it is not very difficult to see that. I think I mean, in art with all these people, because also these people who are like in this committee, they're very experienced and they see that clearly. Yes. So we're trying really to push more for the quality as much as possible for this art fair. So let's hope.
Oh, great. And there isn't any limitation about the media, so we can see conceptual art, also some other kinds of
No. I mean, of course, everything is possible.
efforts. Great.
Everything, conceptual videos, performances. I mean, we're choosing also the applications that we've received. And also, it's very interesting to see how many galleries are thinking of the region, the Gulf, because some of the galleries thinking of the Gulf that they would like to to be connected to Qatar in a way. So they are presenting certain types of artists. They think that this is more connected to the Gulf. So it's interesting to see these relationships. This idea
Okay.
of applications is also very interesting, honestly.
Given the rule that each gallery may present only one artist, while this gives the fair a distinctive character, does it also risk limiting the participation of deserving artists?
It can, but I think it's important for at least the first edition. At least the first edition. It's very important to try to, as I said, it's very important to try to push more for the idea that art fair can be also not only a market, but also a market. But at the same time, it's a push for a high quality art. Like it needs to change something. It needs to deal with still to deal with art as an intellectual discourse. So yes, we understand that it's about market and sales and all of this, but it cannot be completely like separated from the idea of high quality art exhibition. We need to keep it like that. We need to push for this more.
Looking ahead, what vision do you see for the future edition of Art Basel in the Middle East? Do you believe that Art Basel can play an active role in addressing the global problem of repeating the same well-known names and instead create opportunity for undiscovered talent?
This is something I'm not sure if we have uh, the the capacity to do, because in the end, undiscovered talents means that the galleries are sending undiscovered talents, which is really, most of the galleries are not doing this. Most of the galleries are sending the most secure big name they have, the best name they have, that they are this like secure, not only from the quality of artwork, but also the quality of market. This is also something. So I don't want to be like unrealistic and say that we will discover tons of young, because it's not really something. It's not me who is like asking the gallery to bring this particular artist. It's the gallery who is presenting the application. So it's I still believe it's more about trying to push the art fair more into the idea of high quality of art exhibition. This is really like, if even can achieve this in the first edition, I'm extremely happy. Maybe next edition will be much easier to bring like more aspects of the art fairs, and even involving much more young artists outside the galleries even. But because now the time is very limited, and also the scale of the exhibition is very small. By the way, the Art Basel Qatar is very small if you compare it to Hong Kong or Miami or Basel. Very small. We don't have that big space yet. So, but it's very important, as I said, as just as a statement, for the first statement in February. And then after that, I'm expecting that it will become much bigger than this, inshallah.
Thank you for sharing with us these fascinating points. And let's move on the theme of the Art Basel Qatar. The theme of this edition is becoming, which, as you previously explained, explore the continuous transformation of human being and the system that shape life, be life, and identity. This is important from two aspects. From the region itself and your own personal presence. Let me begin with the region. As you know, the history of Middle Eastern countries is unique because they carry rich heritage of human transformation across life, identity, culture, and faith. Also, the region been marked by recurring wars and conflict. As we speak now, there is ongoing war in Gaza. So this creates a deep paradox. Will this paradox be reflected in the audience experiences of Art Basel Qatar?
For me, even choosing this title was very important, and this concept is extremely important, because it's I mean, because I mean, for me, I see the golf in a very optimistic way. I remember I had a very but maybe this is away from everything. I was having once a conversation with Boris Groys, and I was speaking to him about how does he see this development in the golf. And he said something to me that I was very happy, because it was also my vision. Because sometimes you hear people like a little bit like not critical, but um, like they see all this development that it's happening in the Gulf as something very new, and it has to do with the oil and yeah. But To me, I look at it from really something completely interesting. I see it as human creation, human achievement. I don't care how it happened exactly, but there is sort of like incredible achievement that came from humanity, that you see this huge shift in system, how you move from like Bedouin tribal society into extreme urbanism. How can you make this shift? And how can you even be able to sustain and facilitate and move that fast? For me, it's fantastic. So yeah, we look at all of these types of development, and for me even this is type of inspiration artistically, because I love this. I find it really surreal, the idea of societies that are in transitions, that are moving from one system to a higher system, or a dream even of a higher system. I don't know if this is higher, but it's just how you transform your system to to become better to be. So that's that is the concept of becoming. And even in the history of the Egyptian history, for example, we had these types of transformations, but it's in a different way. It was more political. Like, for example, during Abdul Nasser, which is the 60s, Egypt was more into communism. This system came right after monarchy system. So after monarchy came the military regime and decided to make Egypt more into communism. And that's part of this idea about changing
Yeah.
systems. So it's not only system of agriculture society, and no, it's a system also of like, yeah, of political system. And then after Abdel Nasser came Sadat, and Sadat decided to change everything into more toward America. So it became completely about capitalism. So you see these ideas of changing. I'm always fascinated about these types of changes in the systems that are like going from one system to a higher or to another. And I see this completely in the Gulf. So when you see that you have the art fair is happening in the Gulf, I think it's very important to try to see this as a metaphor for this human dream of evolving. It is about this for me, really. It's how we have all as humanity this dream of evolving. So this can be a metaphor, what is happening here. Incredible amount of different and contrast that is happening in Gaza, in Ukraine, in all of that different things, but you still have this incredible will inside of humanity to evolve.
Thank you so much. That's an interesting point. And let's move on the second aspect, which is related to your presence as the artistic director of Art Basel Qatar. You, as an Egyptian artist, deeply familiar with the Middle Eastern life, and through your own work, in which you have interpreted history into the language of art, and you have long engaged with these concepts. Given your profound knowledge and experience of this concept, do you see this role only global professional opportunity, or rather as a chance to co-write a shared narrative of this idea?
I lived part of my childhood in Saudi Arabia. So that was also part of, that's why I'm also, many of my artwork is always talking about this idea about nomadism, Bedouin community, tribalism, and how you shift between agriculture society to this dry landscape. Because of course, Egypt is agriculture society. Egypt, the whole civilization is built by the Nile. This is what we know. Outside the Nile, if you look at the map, You see desert, desert. There's no life.
Yeah.
This is not the situation in Saudi Arabia. This is not the situation in the Gulf. It's completely desert, and this is the set of the subconscious. In the subconscious, they they live in a desert, and it's fine. And they built everything in the desert. And I think that was really the thing. How me and my family, of course, moved between the agriculture society and this desert scape tribalism mentality, and back and forth. This is really was something, not only, of course, I mean affected all of my artwork. All my Most of my artwork is about this transformation. But also, yes, I found this extremely interesting to try to understand more my position here also in the Gulf today.
Yeah, and I think when you see others artists approach through this concept, as you have long engaged with that, when you see that, it can be so inspiring for you, and the result can be the co-write of the shared uh, narrative of this idea. Is that correct?
Yes, absolutely, absolutely, sure.
Thank you very much for your time and sharing these insights. We hope to remain in touch with you until the Art Basel Qatar take place, and we look forward to see the results. Thanks so much.